Hello, welcome to a Bannerlord blacksmithing tier list. In this video I'm going to use the cheapest, most valuable items, so you can get the most out of your early game blacksmithing levels. Firstly, I bought some cheap tools and resources. We don't want items or swords above 400 or 500 dinars because early game you might not be able to afford this. Now if we break down the prices and gains from wood, it would be 20 dinars. If you have 2 wood you can get 1 coal, and if you have the perk it becomes 3 for 2. If you can get cheap wood near Sinan it would be amazing. I would give this a B tier. It's good, but you don't get much XP from it unless you have the coal perk. In that case it would be an A tier. Next up we have the wooden hammer. If you can't get it cheap, this would be a good choice. It breaks down into 3 wood and 1 crude iron for 60 dinars. It's also a B tier. Next up is the Pugio. This one is a personal favorite. For 230 dinars it is a bit expensive early game, but if you can smelt the parts you can sell the metal for a good price. It breaks down into 2 iron, 1 steel and even fine steel. Fine steel you can sell for 400 in some cities, so you walk away with okay XP and a fortune. You can start your two-handed business with a Pugio S tier easily. The Highland Dagger is a specific choice, not a bad one if you can't get Pugios. You do get 1 wrought iron more, only downside you don't get the fine steel, making this an B tier option. Same goes for the Seax, only thing you get less wrought iron, still a B tier but worse. Iron Spatha, if you have to buy it, it would be F tier. This is a sword that commonly drops, so you get your stream of iron for early weapons. Real early game this weapon is your kickstart for two-handed swords, so it's in a tier early game. Late game I would put this one in C tier, maybe even D. Hatchets are relatively bad for the price, you get junk, no further explanation needed, D tier. Same goes for the pickaxe, at least you get wood from this, also a D tier. The Blacksmith Hammer is a decent choice, you can say that every town sells it. It always goes for 70 dinars, if you are unlucky it would be 71 dinars. This hammer gives you that extra low tier materials, making it a B tier, but a S tier availability. Spiked club is just unfunny, it's bad, it drops often but I would pay for it. It's overpriced for 258 dinars, making this a D tier item. Simpel Pike is okay, it goes for 131 dinars, making it a better choice, but you don't get wrought iron, C tier. Next up is the Highland Throwing Dagger. This bad boy is cheaper than the Pugio and is a wrought iron boost. If you are in need of extra wrought iron, I would recommend buying this for 166 dinars, making it an A tier items early on. Broadblades throwing knives are the big brother from the Pugio. You also pay the brotherly price for them. For 333 dinars you do get wrought iron. This is a B tier item. Tribesman throwing daggers are a fine choice. They are less available than most daggers, but you do get extra wrought iron. The price would be a shock, but 456 dinars is not bad. It can't be like his brother the Pugio, but a good B tier unless you need that iron. The fish harpoon is a weapon you can get from low tier bandits. Buying it isn't super worth, but these weapons drop pretty often. It will give you 1 crude iron, 1 wrought iron and wood for 225 dinars or as drop, solid C tier. Commoner axe, decent price, decent materials for 245 dinars. Can get this item in every town. It doesn't drop much low tier or high tier materials, so definite C tier. Gallaglaich Axe, price wise it drops if it's rusty, bend of blooded on. That doesn't mean you get less materials. Late game it's bad, but if you are in need of the early game materials, definitely an A tier, because for 245 dinars you get 5 wrought iron and even wood. Pitchfork would call it the beater hammer. Higher price but same worth, 96 dinars for 3 wood. This is a mediocre C tier. Wouldn't recommend buying swords like the Tapered Blade, but you get them dropped often. Decent pay but also decent materials. It is 900 dinars, so don't buy them. You get 1 crude iron, 3 wrought iron and 1 steel. B tier, but if you buy them at F tier. Lowland throwing knives, kind the same as the commoner axe, you pay less but you also get less. 4 wrought iron is still a lot for the low price of 187 dinars. Also great availability for the early game, and A tier. Later on you need less of wrought iron, making it a D tier. Simple Javlin, high price for junk, 145 dinars for nothing, an E tier. Iron Pitchfork, it is less bad, but you need to spend more energy to get the materials. It is cheaper and you get 1 crude iron, 1 wood, C tier because of the low 56 dinar price. Scythe bad, D tier. Leafblade throwing knife is okay, C tier. This is like the little brother from the Pugio, the Xiphos more pricey and costs less materials like it would be in real life, so a D tier, 323 dinars would be the price of this weapon.